Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/prorevenge. So sit back, relax and enjoy some Reddit stories. Do you know who I am? Backfires on business owner. Firstly, this didn't happen to me. I was with the person when they received a phone call about this issue. Then he explained it all to me. Listed buildings, important to the story. In the UK, there is a system for preserving ancient and important buildings. If a building has historical importance, it is known as a listed building, and the rules about how it is developed/maintained/improved are very strict. I need to be vague about the work involved, otherwise it's easy to identify the parties involved. My friend David is skilled in a very niche area of construction. He repairs and renovates buildings using a very old construction method that hasn't been common for several centuries. All his work is on conservation projects and listed buildings. Work was required on a Grade 1 listed property. The overall building work was being done by the main contractor, ACC Limited. One part of the work is very specialized. The contractor's managers didn't know anyone who did it, so the architect gave them a list of qualified people. The contractors chose my friend because he had the earliest availability. 5 days into the work, the owner of ACC Limited, the main contractor company, arrived on site. He was throwing his weight around and being a nosy gobcrape. David was just doing his job and ignored him. Noisy Gobcrape told one of his carpenters to get him a coffee. The carpenter disappeared. Noisy Gobcrape continued wandering and gobbing off about delays and costing him a fortune. 15 minutes after the carpenter disappeared, the Noisy Gobcrape asked my friend a question. "Where is that freaking chippy with my coffee?" David said, "Don't know." "Go and find out." "I'm only here for this job," pointing to the walls. "I don't work for ACC Limited." "I don't give a freak whether you're an employee or a subcontractor. You still work for me. Now go and find my freaking coffee." Firstly, I don't appreciate being talked to like that, and secondly, my contract with you is to do these walls, nothing more. I'm definitely not a gopher. "Oh, you don't appreciate being talked to like that, do you? Which subcontractor do you work for?" "None. I'm self-employed. It's just me." "Huh, a day laborer, and you've got the nerve to talk like that? Do you know who I am?" "Yep." "Well, you're freaking fired. Get off the freaking site now." "Okay, put it in writing." "Screw off. Just get off the freaking site." David pulled his phone out and started recording. "Okay, I'll go. I just want proof you told me to go." Noisy Gobcrape grabbed David's hands holding the phone and screamed into the phone. "Get off the site, you freaking idiot. You're fired. If you're still here in 10 minutes, I'll have you freaking thrown out." "Cool, no problem." He picked up all of his kit and walked away. As he was leaving, the contractor's site manager passed him, ironically with a coffee for the boss, and with a smile said, "Huh, you leaving early? Bloody part-timers, haha." "No, your boss just fired me. Our contract is ended. Sorry, mate." "Oh, no. Let me sort this out. Wait, please wait." David left. The site manager was losing his head because he knew something that Noisy Gobcrape didn't. Only 7 people in the UK are qualified to do the work. They all have a waiting list, and David had been the only one available. By the time he was home, he had 12 missed calls. That was Thursday, 2 working days missed so far. He said he'll go back, but only if he gets paid for the extra days and has a genuine apology in person from the boss. I met my friend when he was getting a call from the site manager, saying the boss apologizes but is out of the country so can't apologize face to face. David also told me he phoned the other specialists to warn them, but they'd all been phoned on Friday begging them to do the job. They're all booked solid. David also phoned the architect to warn him. Situations like this, some unscrupulous contractors try to bodge the job and fake the work. David is going to stick to his guns, pay for all of the missed days, plus face-to-face apology. He is sure he'll get it. I've said I'll pay anything to watch the face-to-face apology. Update. Site manager says he was told by Noisy Gobcrape to threaten legal action if David doesn't finish the job. David reminded him that he didn't leave and has proof he was fired. Site manager says Noisy Gobcrape will apologize face-to-face on Friday. Can he start tomorrow? David said no. Following the threat of legal action, the conditions are different. Number 1, face-to-face apology before work restarts. Number 2, added pay for wasted days. Number 3, payment of full contract value upfront before work starts. And 4, all must happen by Thursday. That's the last day he can start and still expect to finish before his next booking. If he also works the weekends, he has just enough time. I asked him why he isn't charging a huge extra amount for the guy being such a douche. He said it doesn't look good if you take advantage of companies when they're under time pressure. Not the done thing. It seems that one of my friends is an 18th century gentleman. Correction, I misunderstood David when he said only 7 others do work. He meant 7 other businesses apart from his. They're small businesses, so he says it's probably about 20 people who can do it. Still a small number, but not as comically small as 7. Sorry for misleading you all about that number. Update 2. Unfortunately, it seems there will be no apology. David has discovered that the site manager was blamed for not making Noisy Gobcrape aware of the situation beforehand and was fired. David contacted the operations director for ACC Limited, Noisy Gobcrape's number 2, and informed them that an apology is no longer required as he will not be returning to the job. The operations director apologized for everything and offered to renegotiate the money very generously. David told him that he had only considered going back to the job as a personal favor to the original site manager. Since he isn't there, he feels no obligation to return. Operations director said he will get back to David but didn't say why. I asked him why he didn't say, "Give him his job back or I won't come back." David said, "Noisy Gobcrape is too petty and weak to be told what to do by a craftsman. It will have to be the company's idea for the site manager to come back. If I tell them to bring him back, it won't happen." David says the site manager is great at his job, but is only 4 years from retirement, so it's not easy to find a job at 61. I've decided I like David even more than I did 3 days ago. Update 3. It's 2 AM here. We've just got back from the pub. David got a call while we were out from the sacked site manager. David updated the architect on the situation this afternoon. The architect contacted the sacked site manager to tell him about a company who needed a site manager. The sacked site manager phoned David just before 9 PM. I had to sit through the phone call only hearing one side. I must have looked childishly excited. Then David filled me in. The site manager rang to thank him and find out his favorite drink so he can send him a bottle. He hasn't got the new job yet, but he is seeing them on Friday. Apparently, the architect's recommendation carries some weight, so he's optimistic. David refused at first. "I didn't get you a job, the architect did." The site manager said, "But you set all of this in motion and told the architect that I'd been fired. Because of you, I never need to deal with that obnoxious pillock ever again." David wasn't specific about who the obnoxious pillock was. David said his drink is Cardu Gold Reserve. He said he will accept a bottle only if A, the site manager gets the new job, and B, if the site manager will come over and drink the Cardu with David. It looks like the handsome scribe who did the enormously difficult time-consuming job of skillfully writing this saga down on Reddit isn't included in the whiskey consumption. As David poetically put it, tick off douchebag, you can buy your own freaking drink. All good news, hopefully, except that nobody gets to see that douchebag, noisy gobcrape, eat dirt when he has to apologize. I was so looking forward to that. Wow, I've gotta say, David sounds like such a cool guy. I'd want to be friends with David, if anyone. Had my half-brother removed from the will after he stole money from our father with Alzheimer's. Shortly after my father was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, my formerly estranged half-brother quit his job and moved in to help take care of my dad. Though there really wasn't enough money, it was agreed to pay him around $300 a week to make up for his missing income. During this time, my half-brother abruptly acquired durable power of attorney and usurped medical and financial, my mother and father had separate financial lives, decisions. Several documents relating to my dad's pension, which were now my half-brother's responsibility, were not turned in on time, resulting in my dad missing out on a one-time payment of $8,000 and lowering his pension payout by $300 a month. My half-brother then cleaned out my dad's remaining savings, about $3,000, not until about a month later. 6 days later, our father sadly took his own life. My dad left all of his insurance money and belongings to my mother. Us children were left with only sentimental items. My brother-in-law was visibly upset and shaking when the will was read. He acknowledged that my mother was receiving everything and left. About a month later, we discovered the missing money. Though he broke no laws because he had the power of attorney, we insisted he paid it back, even offered to let him make payments over a 2-year period. He refused and we have been no contact for 2 years now. Little did he know that he was in my mum's, his stepmother's will. He would receive half of what is currently a $250,000 estate. I suggested to my mother that she remove him from the will. She did, and I am now the sole beneficiary. He stole $3,000 now only to lose out on $125,000 later. That guy just sounds like such a douchebag. Oh, I'm so sorry about your father. Douche boss lets his self-importance bite him on the butt. Background: I worked in an office for a large supermarket in the UK. And we had a team leader who was a douche. He'll be known as Richard from here on. Never in the wrong, always had the what I say goes attitude. Also, he would ask really inappropriate questions if you had been ill. Real probing questions that were unnecessary. He was a Richard. One day, he got promoted to the team leader of the team above us. They were involved in the data side of things and we thought we had seen the last of him, but he used his data team to run reports on who was doing what. He generally messed with his old team, from which he was universally despised. Background over. One day we had an issue with pricing in our store's meat. It was going through the till at twice the normal price. No biggie, these things happen from time to time. In our stores, we have a policy: if we overcharge you, you get double the overcharge back. So let's say the leg of lamb was £28 and you got charged double of £56. You'd get the £56 as double the overcharge and you got to keep the product. Now, Richard the manager, knowing this, went shopping after work. He put every meat he could think of in his shopping trolley. Once he got to the checkout, acted as if he was a genuine customer, and they sent him to customer service. Now, Richard had always been so self-important, he failed to realize the girl behind the counter used to work in our office. She saw him and made some excuses and spoke to her manager. She basically said to the manager, "This guy's pulling a fast one," and he agreed. "I understand you have been overcharged on some meat." "Yes, and I want the refund on double the difference." Did the lady behind the till tell you about the overcharge before the item started scanning? Yes, she did, and I was told to come here. If you were told before the items were scanned that we had this fault, all we can do is give you back what you had been overcharged. Now, 90% of the people get double the difference. We only pull out this policy if someone has clearly done it to scam cash, and we're totally legally allowed to do this. This is ridiculous. I know the policy. I manage the store's policies throughout the UK. Excuse me, but how do you manage the policies? From what I'm told, this was said in a condescending way to get a rise out of Richard, and it worked. I work in head office, and I'm not some little skivvy either. The manager acting like he was going to jump through hoops for this. Oh, sorry sir, can I take your staff card? Yeah, here it is, looking very smug. I've just got to go to petty cash and sort this for ya. No problem. The manager proceeded to phone us, and lo and behold, it was his old team that picked up the call. The first thing he asked was, did we have a manager there by Richard's name, and could he speak to Richard's boss? Richard's boss took the call and said to the manager, "Can you ask Richard to come into your office? I need to talk to him." He was fired on the spot and told he would not get a reference from us, as if he did, it would be one that said he was dismissed due to fraud against the company. I heard he was working for Domino's Pizza in the store, a bit of a come down from a £40,000 a year job. The best part is staff found out which Domino's he worked in and would go in and order Meat Feast pizzas, making sure they got all the extra meat they ordered. That ending's good, but I'm just sat here thinking, he could have just told a friend to go and get all the meat and it wouldn't have been him, but no, he has to go in himself. But he probably doesn't have any friends to ask, let's be honest. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like. And if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.